Maybe you've never worked the night shift, but I'll tell you this. A hospital at night isn't about silence. It's about tension, about the things we don't see during the day. It was an old district hospital somewhere on the edge of town. I was working there as a nurse's aide. I was 27. The shift started at 11 p.m. I was to be on duty until morning. I remember that night in detail. It was very quiet, even by hospital standards. All the patients were serious but stable. Nothing seemed out of place. I was sitting at my desk in the old building. The light above me flickered, as always. The old lamp couldn't handle the night's dampness. There was a clock on the wall, a regular mechanical one. It was always 6 minutes fast. I was used to that. I adjusted my biological clock to it. But that night, it stopped. Exactly at midnight. I looked at it and thought, well, it died. And just then, beep, 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 an alarm on the monitor of the patient in room number 3, a sudden spike in pulse. I rushed to the room. A man, about 40, post-accident, lay quietly. The monitor was flashing, but he was asleep. Eyes closed, pulse steady. Everything was too quiet. I was about to leave when I heard a child's laughter. Soft, barely audible, coming from the hallway. We didn't have children here. The hospital was for adults. I stepped into the corridor. Long, dark, only emergency lights on. No traces. Silence. I returned to my post and saw the clock again showing midnight. I literally saw it stop. And now, the hands were moving backwards. This was no coincidence. But what could I do? I was working here. I had to watch the patients. And again, a sudden spike in pulse. Now in room 5. In this room lay an old woman, after a stroke. She didn't speak, barely moved. I enter. She's sitting. On the bed, eyes open, smiling, a cold smile that didn't reach her eyes. She's coming, she whispered. Who? I asked. She didn't answer. Just lay down and closed her eyes as if nothing had happened. The monitor was steady. I returned to my post, and the clock started spinning. Slowly at first, then faster. The hands moved forward and backward. I watched, hypnotized. The lamp above flickered, then went out. For a moment, then back on. A sound behind me, like bare feet tapping on tiles. I turned, empty. On the wall, no clock anymore. I went to the security room. There stood an old camera control panel. I rewound the footage and saw, a few seconds on the tape, a black figure. Very tall, thin, faceless, standing by the bed of the patient in room 3, looking straight into the camera. I ran there. The patient lay still, eyes open, not blinking, not moving. On the monitor, a flat line. I reached out to him, and then, beep! The monitor revived, the pulse returned. He blinked, but didn't look at me. His eyes were fixed on the wall. I turned around. There it was, the clock again, the same one, but the hands spun wildly. Then, stopped. At 12:06, the exact amount of minutes it always ran fast. I stepped back, behind the glass reflection, and I saw someone standing behind me, a tall black figure very close. I turned, empty. I don't remember how I left the hospital. I just ran, sat in the stairwell until morning. I never went back. Quit the next day. 6 months later, they tore down the old wing. They said something was wrong with the foundation. But those who worked nights, they all saw the clock and heard the child's laughter. And you know, sometimes when I can't sleep, I hear tick-tock in my own apartment, and I don't even have a clock.